everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 23 of the holiday card series for 2017. Today I'm going to be using these products from Spellbinders. One is a stamp and the other is a die set. And I'm going to use these together on today's card. And before I get going into this, I do want to apologize for missing this upload on Friday. I'm sure you all can relate to it being super busy as the holidays approach. So anyway, I've mounted that stamp onto an acrylic block. And I'm going to use Spring Rain ink from Simon Says Stamp to stamp these snowflakes onto some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock. So I'm inking this up really well. I want to make sure that the ink completely coats that large stamp. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp this down near the bottom of this cardstock. I'm going to have the snowflakes overlap. So I'm going to ink up my snowflake stamp again. And I'm going to kind of rotate it around, kind of nestle it in, find a good spot for it, and then go ahead and stamp down. Now I'm going to stamp this a third time. I thought maybe I would just do it twice, but then I decided I wanted those snowflakes to come farther into the center of this piece of cardstock. So I stamped it a third time. By the way, this cardstock right now is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's going to be the actual front of my card, so it's the exact size of the finished card. I'm now going to roll out. This is an Easy Clean Matte from Tonic. It's a slick surface and it's perfect for ink blending. So I'm going to take a mini round blending tool from Ranger, and using the same Spring Rain ink, I'm going to blend on a little bit of color coming from the end where all the snowflakes start. I want the concentration of color to be down at that one end, and I want it to sort of fade off into a white center or white end on the other side. So I'm going to do some die cutting, and today's card is super simple. I almost didn't include it in the holiday card series because it is so simple in design, but sometimes around the holidays you want a simple card design so that you can recreate the card over and over and create multiples of the same card to send to family and friends. So for this one, I'm just going to die cut once using the Be Merry die from that die set from Spellbinders. And I'll have the exact die set listed down below in the video description in the supplies list. It'll be linked to an online store where you can purchase it. So I'm going to make sure that I save all of these interior pieces of this die cut because I'm going to use them later. So I'm going to be really careful and punch them out using a Tim Holtz craft pick. I'm going to hold that die really close to my work surface so as those little pieces fall, they don't kind of skip away and run away from me so I'm missing them later. I'm now using that same Be Merry die and cutting it out of some red glitter paper. This is from Simon Says Stamp. This was in that large assortment pack that I used earlier in the card series. I'll link to the exact color below. So I'm making sure that I take this out of the die really carefully as well. This die cut, even though it is pretty sturdy, it's still intricate. So you want to make sure that you handle it with care. For my card base, I'm using some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White in the 110-pound version. So this is the same color of cardstock that I used earlier, but this is just the heavier weight that I'm using for my card base. So I'm adding a bunch of adhesive to the front of this card base. So I'm going around all 4 sides. And this is some Tombow Extreme adhesive, by the way. I'm going to do a few diagonal lines, and then I'm going to move my die cut piece so it's over the top of my card front, just so I can kind of see where the cut of that Be Merry is. And I'm going to make sure I put lots of adhesive to go behind it. I'm going to tip this up in the light so you can see a little bit better. You can see where all of that adhesive is placed so that as I put the Be Merry die cut card front over the top, the area that's cut out will have all adhesive underneath. This is going to make it so as I put my red glitter die cut inside that area, it'll stick down perfectly. Press that down with my fingertips and those little itty bitty pieces with my craft pick just to make sure I wasn't getting my fingertips on that adhesive and removing the tackiness. So now I'm taking my red Be Merry glitter die cut and I'm going to puzzle piece that in. I'm going to use my craft pick as an extra tool to help me kind of maneuver that die cut into the right spot. And then I'm going to take all of those leftover pieces from when I cut the front of the card, when I cut the stamped piece, And I'm going to put those in all those little leftover areas. That's why you wanted to save all those pieces, because we're going to put this inside and make it look like it's all one surface. There's nothing popping out up above. It looks like it's all one smooth area. So this technique is called die cut inlay. I've actually never done it before, at least I don't think I have. And it's a really fun technique, especially if you use glitter paper or some other different texture for one of the die cuts. It also makes it super easy for sending through the mail because there's no additional layers. So I took some red and white baker's twine and I first tied it up near the top of the fold, but then decided to slide it down to bring some of that red color near the bottom of the card. So the card's almost finished. I'm just going to punch out the top corners using a 1/2 inch corner rounder. And then that is the finished card. Excuse me. I love the glittery die cut on this, and I also love that it's all one layer. With the exception of that bow and that string on the one end, it's all very, very flat. You can see as I tip it up in the light that it is all one layer, and it's a really cool effect. So that's the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow with day 24 of the Holiday Card Series. Thanks for watching.